Okay, I'd like to talk a little bit about the tree right here. It's a big oak tree, and I got nothing against trees. In fact, on the trip here, I brought 3 flowering trees that are kind of rare, kind of hard to get in this part of the state, and brought them here for Ken. So it's not that we have anything against trees. What we do have an issue with is that this tree is in the wrong spot for an aquatic garden. It just can't be there. We actually don't have the final pool, and right now the pool you see farthest from me is what we call number 2. The blank spot over on the concrete where there would be another pool would be pool 1, and that pool would be 80% shaded by this tree. The second pool, the one that is just black water right now, is about 60% shaded by the tree. And that's detrimental for a lot of reasons. First of all, it drops leaves, it drops tassels, it drops acorns. It just fills the water with a lot of debris and trash, and is just unsightly for starters. But once the stuff that falls in starts releasing tannins and breaking down in the water, it's a bad situation for the water quality. Kind of turns it a coffee color, kind of nasty looking. As it breaks down, it's something that becomes a reason for algae to continue to grow, feeding off the decay. It's just not a good thing. The other thing is, water lilies have to have sunlight, lots of sunlight, minimum of 6 to 8 hours a day. Well, that's part of the reason this is so successful as a water garden, because there's a very long daylight cycle here. We're in the high desert, 2,000 feet elevation, so they get lots and lots of sun, but they don't in those pools. Last year for Lily Fest, we actually had plants in that second pool that were dying just because they weren't getting the sun they needed. Once this tree was really full with leaves, they weren't getting sun, they weren't blooming. So just to make Lily Fest successful, we had to move plants around. We had to bring in new plants just for that pool to make sure that it looked good for all the guests that were coming. But in a formal water garden, we shouldn't have to do that. This is one of the best aquatic gardens in the country. In fact, it's one of the best in the world. But we're being hampered by this tree. This tree is a problem. It's leaning, it's tearing up the pavers. People here are, tripping going down that ramp, and that is a ramp that was designed and built with ADA specifications for people who, have mobility issues. And there's a lot going on that tree needs to go. As soon as that tree is gone, we're going to build the final pool, and then we will have the perfect, symmetrical, formal layout. This is the park here. So over there you can see 3 pools on the right. See the main basin, and you see 2 on the left. So once we build that final pool, it will be the same as the pool on the very far right over there. It'll give us the symmetry and the formal look that is required. So our goal by the end of this year is to have the tree removed that we were told would happen as soon as we got ready and we got the funds to build the other pool. We were told the tree would come down no problem. So by the end of this year, we're hoping to have a misting system installed here to keep it cooler when it's 110 out here during July and August, to have the final pool built, and to have basically a little atrium over there around and behind the tree area for people to sit out in the shade and just enjoy the water park in the hotter part of the summer. The one thing about going to other water gardens around the country, around the world, is they do the right thing. They don't have trees around the pools. You know, they've got trees, plenty of trees. You know, Longwood Gardens is a perfect example. There's acres and acres and acres of protected forest, protected trees. A lot of rare material there that is not anywhere else. And I mean, that's why Mr. DuPont bought that in the first place, was to protect that stand of trees. But they made the right decisions when it came to the water gardens in the conservatory, that there are no trees in there that will inhibit the beauty of the aquatic display. And that's what needs to happen here. We need to have everyone involved help make the right decisions for this aquatic display, because this is the #1 tourist draw for San Angelo. And at this point, for us to be more successful, to get more and more people here than we have, we need to finish the formal layout of the pool system, get the final one built, and have even more reason for people to come here. Because right now we have more plants, more variety than basically any other water garden. And giving us the extra pool would enable us to have at least another 50 plants on display at all times, in addition to what we already have. So there's a lot that needs to happen going forward, and we hope to get it all done by the end of 2013.